of the call. I said we weren't going to go super long, and I don't plan to go very long with this because we are so close. I even debated today whether to even not do a call tonight because some people have gone dark. Some people have gone quiet, they know, but I didn't want everybody to freak out if they didn't have the big call to listen to tonight. So I thought I'd bring it tonight. And I want to thank everybody that's been faithful in listening into the big call we're in our 6th year on Tuesday and Thursday nights. And you're in a good place at the right time right now because we are highly expectant for some activity to happen between now and the weekend. Without us calling it or doing rates and dates, it's kind of hard not to, in a way, when you know sort of what's going on and what's projected over the next couple of days, 2 or 3 days. I'll tell you, we usually start with Iraq in terms of what's going on because Iraq is kind of a linchpin in this whole thing. So let's talk a little bit about what is different or what is new since Tuesday's call. I'll say that I did mention that this Saturday, the 10th, is going to be Liberation Day. And the 12th is going to be Celebration Day, which is Monday for Iraq. Okay? Now, what's interesting is this Liberation Day on Saturday, it's not just to discuss the liberation of Mosul and the defeat of ISIS and the bring back of Mosul into Iraq as a safe place to be, but it's also, I believe, more about the liberation of Iraq from Chapter 7 by the United Nations. Okay, so under their Chapter 7, you know, they regain their sovereignty when they complete everything that was needed under Chapter 7. And then they're moved into Chapter 8. I believe that that's really what Liberation Day is all about, because they should return to their full sovereignty as an international player with an internationally tradable and exchangeable currency, with the ability to do business with other countries, and they'll have should have a new rate, a new just a new opportunity to have their sovereignty back. Now, the one thing that they need to gain that full sovereignty and release from Chapter 7 is a new rate, a truly internationally revalued dinar. And that's when the lower denominations that are in those ATM machines now and those FILs, F-I-L-S, those coins, will have real value. So I personally look for that to occur on or before Liberation Day. That's Saturday. Today's Thursday night. So that's basically what we're looking at. Now, when we go, let's see what else is going on. The other thing that's been going on for about 5 months or so, 4 or 5 months, is the U.S. and China and South Korea, and I think maybe one other country, has been giving cell phones to Iraqi citizens, and I've got a number of about 1,750,000 cell phones that have gone out to these people, and they've gone out with an application for mobile banking to work with either Rashid Bank or Rafidian Bank in Iraq. And they've done that and given these guys these phones to try to get them more and more familiar with the concept of mobile banking and with the idea of being used to banking in that way, digitally. you know? And so that's what they've actually given these cell phones out with the apps already installed, ready to go. And I think that's just great. It's just wild. So those, my understanding is and I know from some contacts that we have that are hooked up personally like this, they should have that application up and fully running with access to the accounts directly from anywhere in the world, by the way, not just in Iraq, from outside the world too, by, I think the timing was 7:30 p.m. Saturday night, Iraq time. So I find that very interesting, and it might mean something in terms of a time for Iraq. I don't know how crucial that time is going to be for anything, but I think it's interesting that it should occur on Liberation Day. Now, their celebration day would be on Monday. But let's say this, I'm looking for that to occur so that they are out of Chapter 7 completely and sovereign sometime on or before Saturday. Now, the other thing is, when we look back and we see what's been happening here, we know that many, many, many people have been paid as part of, let's call it Tier 2 and Tier 3 groups, including a lot of the subgroups and groups from out west. Those guys are being handled. We understand everything's basically complete, and many of these people have been paid. Now, some still have what we call administrative holds on their accounts, but we understand that those admin holds are slowly coming off even now, coming off over the last few days, slowly removing them. Our understanding is that the vast remainder of those that have accounts with admin holds will have those released tomorrow after markets closed in the United States. In other words, after our markets close, which is like 4, maybe 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, that's when we understand the remainder of those admin holds would come off. So that's a very, very positive thing. Now, what about those of us who are part of the internet group and are waiting for the toll-free number to come out, and so that we can set our appointments and be able to do our exchanges at the various redemption centers? Remember, there's over 7,430 separate redemption centers in North America. That's Canada and the U.S. And my understanding is that our window of possibility is to start, for those numbers to come out, would start early in the morning and go all the way through to probably sometime Saturday. I'm going to say maybe Sunday, but let's just call it through the weekend. Let's just call it through the weekend. I would hope that we would get an earlier start, and we understand this is to be a daytime event. So as far as when I'm going to receive the actual toll-free number, my understanding is it would be during the day, and then we would set our appointments and begin to exchange on that day. Now, that may not be the case. I don't know exactly how soon we would go, but hopefully it would be fairly quickly after we receive the number and set up our appointment. So that's really where we are in terms of the timing. The timing is very, very close. We're not calling it, but all indicators are that the Tier 2s, Tier 3s, and the other groups and subgroups are in process now and finishing up. And that would mean that Tier 4, which is us, with the internet group, would be ready to go next. And I don't know, for example, whether all of Tier 3s have to complete all groups have to complete before we go. It may be the case, it may not be the case, but I think either way, it looks like the shotgun start may occur at approximately the same time. And guys, the timing of the release of the toll-free number, I'm calling it toll-free because I don't know if it's an 800 or an 877 or an 888. That's why I use the term toll-free number. The release of that toll-free number to me could occur at any time. It could occur at any time now all the way through the weekend. But I really believe that it's designed so that we get a start that's close to when the remainder of the administrative holds would be off and everybody that's already been paid has access to their funds. It may be sort of in conjunction with that. So, you know, it's not definite that obviously that's when it would occur, but it seems like that may be when it's to go. But anyway, we are in the window starting early in the morning tomorrow, and we're just going to watch it and see when it does come in. Now, when I do receive that call and that information, I'll be happy to put it out on our website and send it to at least one or two other places online. And once it gets out there a little bit, it'll get viral pretty quickly. And then we'll probably put a celebration call of some kind up on the website. Just remember to check, I would say check tomorrow. I don't know that it's going to be up by tomorrow morning, but it could be. Just start checking the bigcall.net website. And then, of course, when you do see it, you'll be able to set your appointment and go and get exchanged. And I can't tell you when exactly, but I'm looking forward to a great weekend and start of next week. But overall, that is really the intel. I will say this. I will say the rates are still trading higher. Especially the ZIM is moving up nicely. And I think everybody's going to have an amazing opportunity to, especially those, and really only those as part of the Internet group, will have an opportunity to exchange at privately negotiable rates. Like we've said, even on the Dong, even on the Dinar, I think the Rupiah, and certainly on the ZIM. So it's all very good from that perspective. I'm trying to think. The only other thing I would say is, you know, we've heard some discussion about the private-public partnership for reconstruction projects in the United States. I would venture to say, if members of the administration are listening in, which they usually do, it's one thing to call it private-public, but really I don't think we're going to need any public money to do the infrastructure projects that the government wants to do. We're going to have enough to do that without using quote-unquote public money. And if the government wants to take that perspective of taking a look at, once we get hydrated here in the next few days or whatever, you know, the idea of creating bonds for us to purchase to rebuild infrastructure in this country, like they've talked about offering, I think that, because they've got them in Iraq. Iraq's already got them, infrastructure bonds. They've already got them. They were going to do $1 trillion in infrastructure bonds. You know, we could do $10 trillion in infrastructure bonds and really make a difference, and it wouldn't really faze a lot of us to do that. So I would say if we can do that and put that out and make it a private endeavor, it would be fantastic. And then that way, it wouldn't take any tax dollars to do that. And I know you guys have probably, in the administration, you've thought of that. It's not like I've thought of anything that you haven't thought of already, but I'm here to say that those of us that are listening to the big call probably would be more than willing to do that with a portion of what we plan to do with Rebuild America, because that's going to be what we're going to do as our main humanitarian project, in addition to the Veterans Retreat Network. See, we're going to do both. We're going to work with our veterans and create a whole network of veterans retreats throughout the country for the vets to come in and get retrained, to get their PTSD counseling, to get recreational opportunities for themselves and their families, all of that in a very big way we've got planned. We'll be the largest employer of veterans in the country, and we'll be rebuilding homes. We'll be doing all kinds of things, especially with Rebuild America. Remember, adopt a city, adopt a town, adopt a community. And this is what I'm going to ask you guys, at least 5,000 of the Big Call listeners, to help me with throughout the country. We're going to contact each other through a website, through a new blog opportunity, where you guys can say, hey, yeah, Bruce, I'm interested in this part of the country. I would help you with this city or that. Try to pick an area that you're a little bit familiar with, so that you can drive through that area and say, yep, I can see where they need this or need that. And you may be meeting with local people there, not just the citizenry, but the local government. Say, what is it that you guys need? Where are the areas of the city that need help, or this town that needs some help? What do you need? What do the schools need? What do we need in terms of healthcare and clinics? There'll be a lot of opportunities for us to help Rebuild America. And I just wanted to put that out there, because we may not talk for a month. Once this thing hits, we're going to take about a month off, but that's okay. You guys will be doing your follow-up appointments after your exchanges. You'll be following up with your wealth managers, with your private bankers, with your CPAs, with your attorneys. You're going to get your structures put together. You might end up with some foundations or 501c3s. You might just use trusts. Whatever you set up, you're going to need follow-up appointments as you move some money around, as you create opportunities, maybe some LLCs. You're going to want to meet with your attorneys and with your CPAs, because remember, I'm not a CPA, nor am I an attorney, nor do I play one on TV or radio. So, this is what you're going to get the professional help to do, to set that up. That's going to take a little while. And you're going to have a couple of weeks or week of vacation to chill out, enjoy this, and you're going to take a look at some real estate and maybe say, hey, I want to buy a new place, or I want to get a new ride. You got some stuff that you're going to do to just sort of enjoy this. And then after that is settled in, we should have the big call on a new website, a new platform for podcasts online, and then we'll be able to stay in touch with you with our new ideas and do some interviews about technology and healing and everything else that we're going to talk about in the future. And we'll hopefully have a way for everybody to connect through our new website in terms of how we're planning to rebuild America. And my idea is to create this so that we use some similar building techniques. We create a template for housing. It's not always going to look the same, in different parts of the country. Of course, the Southwest will have a certain look. The Northeast has a different look. You know what I mean? The architecture, we want to blend pretty much into neighborhoods. We're not trying to become a sore thumb and create something that doesn't fit in a neighborhood. We want to add value to the neighborhoods. When we buy vacant lots, or some of the homes just are not going to be worth saving, And if they are worth saving, yeah, we'll do what we can to rehab the homes. If they're not worth it, we bring the D9 bulldozer in and we just take it down and then rebuild from the ground up. Okay, but we're going to be doing that all over the country. I want at least 100 cities or towns in all 50 states, except maybe Hawaii and Alaska. But we'll still do the work there as needed. But I'm looking for 5,000 people, approximately 100 cities per state times 50 states. We still have 50 states as far as I know. Don't forget Puerto Rico, our territory over there in the Caribbean. And that's also an area that we're going to be working in. And I know Blue Wolf has major plans over there in Puerto Rico on rebuilding as well. We'll try to work with him and with his people over there to really make a difference. There are a lot of currency holders on the island of Puerto Rico. And it's an island that can use a little help. And yet it's a beautiful island with a cool rainforest called El Yunque. El Yunque means the anvil, and that's the rainforest. And yes, I've been there, and yes, it was raining. It was great. So, you know, that's a beautiful island, and there are plenty of other opportunities in the Caribbean, not the least of which would be Haiti, that would need some help. And we plan to do things like desalinization plants. We want to do water filtration systems. We have a lot of things that we can bring, not including, for example, aquaponics in a lot of parts and community gardens. We want to try to tie in some community gardens in the inner city as well to grow good quality food that's healthy in the inner city as well. So we want to do some community gardens, and we want to try, I believe, this is my idea, to try to involve the local churches with the community gardens too and give them oversight over them. And that way those community gardens can be utilized as part of the food bank, which would be the storehouse of the local church. Okay, and this could be out in the boonies, in the communities, as well as in the inner city. Okay, where we might not have aquaponics going on in the inner city, but we might have community gardens. I mean, it would vary. It just depends. We can do both, but it just depends, and we'll have people that will hopefully specialize in that we'll get involved with so that we can sort of cookie cutter some of the aquaponic systems and some of the community gardens. And we know what will grow in certain parts of the country, and we'll get good soil in there, and we'll just get people in there that have a green thumb instead of a brown thumb, that like to work out in the gardens and try to take care of it. And we'll try to charge the local churches maybe with having people come in and help. We've also planned to have apprenticeship programs as part of our Rebuild America. And we also want to have programs for just learning how to do certain things, so that we can have people that are helpers that are learning the trade themselves. We need to bring back the vocational education opportunities too, because a lot of those jobs pay very well, and not everybody is cut out or needs to go to college. I like college, but I think college has gotten way, way, way too expensive, and it's out of range for a lot of people without loans. I want to see people be able to get good paying jobs where they don't necessarily need a college degree. And that's another part of our programming. So we're going to do a little of everything, but the jobs we plan to try to put together will be good paying jobs. It's going to be about jobs, jobs, jobs. It's about Rebuild America. It's about longevity. It's about all of these things. If you don't have a project, when you go in to the Redemption Center for your exchange, You do now. You do now. You have Rebuild America as part of the Big Call team. Okay? Because I'm going to need your help. I'm not going to do every city all across the country. I'll do several, but I'm not going to do all of them. But you could pick one or two to work with, and we can really make a dent. We can really help out. Doesn't mean we're going to do it only here, but we're going to start with America first, and then we'll start reaching out to the Caribbean, to Central America, parts of South America can use our help, and Africa, don't forget. There's a lot that we can do. We're going to find the needs. Remember, find the need, meet the need, change a nation. That's what we're going to be doing. And guess what? We found the need, and we're going to be finding the need here. We're going to meet the need, and we're going to change our nation, the U.S. We're going to change it by rebuilding it. All right? So you guys that are part of the administration that are listening to me on the Big Call, keep in mind the idea of these infrastructure bonds that would be something that we can utilize to invest in as part of our Rebuilding America program. All right? So I just wanted you guys to know that's what I'm thinking about. I believe we're just about ready to receive what it is that God is bringing to us in the form of this blessing. And I'm very thrilled about it. And I'm excited that I did do a call tonight. And yes, I went longer than I thought I would. That's normally what I do, isn't it? But that being the case, I'm just going to say I'm about ready to thank Bob and thank Pastor Stephen and thank Sue, even though she wasn't able to be here tonight. And thank Kent behind the scenes and everybody else that's out there listening to the Big Call. Thank you, guys. Thank you, all of our bankers and banking partners that we'll be working with as we go and do our exchanges and as we follow up with our wealth managers, wealth advisors, private bankers, all of you, thank you for that. Thank you for being ready and for putting a nice smile on your face to greet us when we come in to do our exchanges. Everybody is going to be so ready, so prepared for this now. It's just, it's going to be an amazing experience. I want everybody to enjoy it. I want everybody to go in, take a deep breath, and enjoy it, and look the people in the eye across the desk from you, across the table from you. Look them in the eye, smile. I have to remember to smile myself. Smile and enjoy the experience. Enjoy the ride. Okay? All right, everybody. Have fun. We'll be back in touch. Keep an eye on